It is 3:05. We're actually 3:09. I'm 4 minutes late. So sorry about that. Here on the east coast of North America, which means it's time for Shakespeare's Coffee Break. I am your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare, and I am on my coffee break. Let's have a nice, noisy slurp. That's just good internet audio. I don't care who you are. Yeah. Today, we're going to have an amazing show. I have the hardest working woman in show business. And you know that because she has the URL, hardestworkingwomaninshowbusiness.com. Lady Onca is going to be joining us. She is a mystic. She is a performer. She is an entertainer like none other. And she is here to talk about everything that she is doing and also about an upcoming show that she may have on the spookiest of holidays. Yes, of course, I am referring to Arbor Day. But friends, I hope that you are having a good time wherever in the world you are today. So much going on. I have so many great things to talk about today. I mean, I'm going to have to fit it in really fast here and there. But I have a new sponsor. I know. It's insane. They make masks. I know. And I'm working on others. Maybe we're going to start our own Shakespeare's Coffee Company. I mean, who knows? Shakespeare approves of this blend. Is that what we call it? But it's going to be a good time. I have a different camera going on right now today. And hopefully things are looking good on your end. But we're going to have a wonderful time. Susan Hill is watching with us and she says, woot! So Susan, thanks for wooting. All right, but let us bring in our guest for today. The amazing, the talented, the one, the only, the blonder than me, Lady Onca! Oh my God! Muppet Oh, she's so cool! Lady Onca, how is Awesome Town?
It is wonderful, sunny, beautiful day, and here in the studio, I can see directly out into the chicken coop.
No, I was going to say your answer started off being the wrong answer. You said it is wonderful. No, how is Awesome Town? Awesome.
Indeed.
It's in the freaking name.
Don't typecast me, man.
Oh, it is so good to see your face. I see you occasionally talking as part of your other half. Mm-hmm. When we're doing that 21, like in the pre-show and the post-show periods. Indeed. But now this is your time. This is your time to be here. So what you got going on? Like nothing? Like, are you just sitting home, like drinking bonbons and eating Chardonnay because it's 2020 and nothing matters?
Nothing really matters. Oh yeah, I do nothing. I spend a lot of time laying around. No, that's actually not true. As you noticed, my website, hardestworkingwomaninshowbusiness.com.
Hardestworkingwomaninshowbusiness.com.
I've been so hard at work, actually. I have a whole other website specifically for all my tarot stuff, which is a little more current. And I'm sure that will pop up in all the business.
It will.
As a thing about being the hardest working woman in show business, turns out prophecies. Prophecies. I should have made it the best paid and laziest woman in show business because any idiot can work hard, and I do. So
why didn't you do that one? That would have been amazing.
Somebody is going to listen to this and go buy that URL and then try to scalp it to me for too much money.
It's going to be me. It's going to be me.
Shakespeare approves of this mercenary tactic.
I seriously do, except when it's aimed at me. There are people that keep trying to sell me Shakespeare.net, which, hey, that'd be so cool, right? But they want $20,000 for it. And I'm like, what? Nope. They've been trying to sell me this for 2 years now. And I'm like, hey, did you lower the price? I'm like, nope. I'm like, nope.
Then no.
Yeah, no. So it is not going to happen. Mab, by the way, she is getting that amazing URL. And once Mab owns it, Mab, I want you to put it up on screen here because, oh yeah, and we're just gonna sell socks.
Laziest and best paid
person in showbusiness.com.
That's where I should have gone.
Oh my God!
The power of words, Shakespeare. Like it's a matter of self-hypnosis. I got this URL and it's done wonders for me over all these years, but I self-hypnotized myself into a strange obsession with toil. when I could have picked an easier path.
So in the double toil and trouble, you focused on toil, just making sure that is the case. You're like, not by the pricking of my thumb, something wicked this way comes. No, toil. I'm going to be working forever.
Yeah. Turns out there's not a lot of retirement plans in hardest working.
All right. So I need someone to go look at this up right now. See if the laziest well-paid woman in showbusiness.com is active yet. Yeah, Mab might have got it. That is a long URL, and it's worth it.
People always tell me that mine is too long, and then they realize that everyone knows how to spell it. Everyone always remembers to type the entire thing. Unlike my given name, Onca O'Leary, which if you make that a URL, it doesn't even look like a word in English. Onca O'Leary. Yeah, it's not a real thing. Yeah, I had to go with a theme, with a descriptor, rather than just my name.
Oh, goodness gracious. I went with Shakespeare approves because I just kept going around. I would see things I like and go, Shakespeare approves.
It's great.
And people eventually, so how that worked was, I'm at the New Jersey Renaissance Fair, see something, I would laugh, Shakespeare approves. And someone goes, oh my gosh, I need to get that on a button or stamp it. And so I just started at first writing on scraps of paper, Shakespeare approves, and then just handing it to them and walking along. Oh, and then a patron made a batch of buttons. They got wooden nickels and they glued button backs onto the back of them, and they did they print run but clear stickers that said Shakespeare approves and then comedy charge mask. I'm like, that's amazing. And they did them all, and they gave me 500 of them. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? They said, give them out at your show. I'm like, all right.
Shakespeare approves of this theory.
Yeah, all right. Hey. And so now I get them ordered through maplelandmark.com. Not an ad, I'm just a fan.
Yeah.
But they don't put the backs on, and I'm lazy. So I just I'll constantly have them in my pouch or my pocket, and I'll pull them out and just flip them to people.
Aw, giving everybody a wooden nickel.
Oh, there was one day I had so many. It was the end of the season, not just the end of a particular fair season, but for me, right. I'm going to go dark for the next 4 months. And I was just running down the street.
It's Shakespeare's personal Mardi Gras.
And and there were people money! Oh, it's wood.
Kindling!
Yes!
Show us your ankles! Woo!
On one hand, they went up in smoke for some people. On the other hand, they had to make the decision every single time when throwing into a fire, Shakespeare approves of my fire. People have sent me photos of this. It's so stupid, and I love it. And I'm like, yay!
Oh yeah, that's a bit with that's the shtick. It's the thing that has its own traction. It does work when you didn't even show up. That's what I'm talking about. Lazy and well paid.
Well, I wasn't well paid on it, but it was great because it did provide extra material for the following year where I was saying, hey, keep it, burn it, I don't care. People were like, what?
Pics or it didn't happen.
Just send me photos of you burning my stuff. It's all right, weird.
Do that.
Oh, goodness gracious. So we have some people, some comments in here. The amazing and talented Paolo Garbanzo, colleague of mine and a friend of the show and of yours. He says, I guess the people thought my name was Shakespeare approves, both spelled with $. So it's I'm Swagspear. I don't know. for the
I love this
$20,000 website thing. Mab is registering the laziest well-paid woman in showbusiness.com right now. Mab, we are selling socks on it. We're selling fluffy socks made from alpaca wool. That's what we're doing.
We could just felt it from my hairbrush, hair socks.
I love it.
All these white hairs, well earned and well woven.
Stephanie says in 2014, I've had him since then. Holy crap. She was so chuffed when she got her first wooden button in 2014. Thank you, Stephanie. I love that. And then Andrew asks if either of us saw the Tony nominations today. How can you have Tony nominations?
Is there theater? I mean, is entertainment happening that's not this? I find that impossible.
They had a couple of months at the top of the year, but also, here's a question. Seriously, I'm going to give myself a solo just so I can really look impressive and important. When Broadway opens back up, possibly in June or July of 2021, we don't know yet. Any show that returns, will it technically be a revival? And thus, new shows and shows that maybe have been on stage for years and years and years, everybody is now up for awards. Will this be the first Broadway year since they started the Tonys that literally everything is eligible? Wouldn't that be amazing? Oh yeah, it would. All right, done with that.
They should just give something to everyone who shows up for work.
Like, you came!
You stayed fit all those years, all that time in quarantine. Months
you
and
kept
months.
tap dancing.
Yeah, you continued to stretch and roll it out every day, not knowing if your job would ever come back.
Oh,
right?
Mab, yeah, I know. I mean, it's like, will we come back? Like, will this be sustainable? I don't know. I'm having a good time, though. I'm drunk. I don't know.
We're making the best of it.
Yeah. Mab wants me to ask you about goblin coins.
Goblin coins. Am I supposed to remember something about goblin coins, Mab? Do I still have those neurons? What are we talking about?
I don't know. No one knows. No one knows.
I feel like I'm supposed to remember something. I do have to make a very important clarification for you, Shakespeare.
Yes.
This is very significant. My name is Madam Onca. I am the Lady Mayor of Awesome Town, but my name is Madam.
I keep calling you Lady Onca. I apologize. I think that's actually it's in the description of the show, Lady Onca. I will correct it for the replay.
It's a learned habit from years at the Renaissance fairs. But yes, it is Madam Onca. In fact, having gone to a parent-teacher conference recently for my kid, and their chemistry teacher referred to me as Madam Onca, and I thought, I have won the Build Your Own Reality game when that happened.
That's fantastic.
Oh, Madam Onca, how are you? Yeah.
That's cracking the code of the Matrix.
Right?
So talking more
board, I'm bound to win.
Seriously? Do it. Madam Onca, I'm going to change it's also my mistake, but I'm going to change the Lady Onca. That is, why am I back here doing it? I don't know. Yeah, all right, we're just gonna move it. All right, here we go. No.
The internet is behind you. I don't know.
The internet is not a series of wires and tubes. It's actually just a series of placards that I place.
Like Tachkala connection.
I am burning the internet down. It's just like, okay, he did it. Good for him. Is there any more internet? I don't know. It's unclear. What am I doing? I can't get anything straight anymore.
What is reality?
This is what the show is today, people. Me messing with my decorations.
The decor.
So, going back into talking about business, and not even your actual business.
What
Mab says the website changes will take effect in a few hours as the DNS repropagates. This is amazing.
Mab is the mistress of again, Build Your Own Reality.
She is an instigator and an agent of chaos right now.
But I mean, that's very orderly chaos. I went and bought a website. Like, that's not like, hey man, I put sand in your gas tank. That's chaotic. Like,
no. Oh, beg pardon. That's not chaotic. That's a dick move.
Yeah, fair enough. So, she's a provocateur of women.
She is organized chaos. Let's put it that way. It's like, I'm going to do this and see how the monkeys dance. Yes. But let's talk about the stuff you do. Let's talk about World Spirit I almost said Toga. World Spirit Tarot.
Oh God, now I gotta go get another URL. Okay, worldspirittoga.com. Yeah, World Spirit Tarot. Is that what we're talking about?
Let's do that one.
Okay, so this thing. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, education and empowerment. I look so fancy.
Yes, you do.
That's me with doing my Theta Bara impersonation. So like for real, I went and looked up all the old pictures and replicated them.
Cheat to your right.
This
there
way.
You go. Yeah, your right hand. Your
so
right
it's not
hand.
in my face. Yeah.
No, not just that. You can hold that anywhere. I just don't want the overlay to be in front of your face.
Right. And there's there's glare galore. So World Spirit Tarot. So and yes, it's tarot or tarot. You could say what you like.
Tarot. Is it going to go off into the woods and write poetry about being a woodsy person while his mother makes him lunch every day?
Absolute freeloader, yes. My advice, take the donuts. So this here book and this here deck, I made a deck of tarot cards. So here's all these. The World Spirit Tarot took me 7 years to make. It is intensely researched, and it is going into its 3rd edition this year, which is kind of a big deal. That's my fancy website, theworldspirittarot.com. The important part here, other than the fact that tarot is something that I know quite a bit about, is that in this month, I am doing a bunch of teaching online, and that's something I'm excited to share with people. I've got weekly workshops that I teach online here through Awesome Town Studios, and then I'm also going to be teaching a workshop through our local witch organization here in Richmond, Virginia.
That's amazing.
Yeah, right. And they are great people, and there's a tremendous amount of them. So that's a joy. Yeah, look, you can see some of the art up there in the.
Oh yeah, I'm scrolling through it, and I really want to just focus on one piece real quick, because you made a specific tarot of right here, dead center betwixt your hands, of Paolo Garbanzo.
I did. So that card, which of course is actually known as the Magician, back in the way back, of course, tarot's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. There was a point in time when it was called the Jongleur, the juggler. And I was like, oh, I totally know what jugglers look like. Hey, you. So he is immortalized in the deck, as it were. Woe befall him if he ever crosses me, because he'll get written out of the deck, I suppose. But yeah, so that's him. My mother's also in there. One of the things that I know, right? And she passed away this last year, so it's specifically a sentimental now.
My friend, I'm so sorry. My deepest sympathies on that. That's
well, thank you.
That's not easy at all. No,
it's a major life transition. And my father actually passed away many years ago, so I'm the world's oldest orphan.
Is that? Do you need worldsoldestorphan.com now? Mab, make it happen.
I've been kidnapped. Wow, what a difference.
That was weird.
Yeah, somebody just does. A little elf just came in. A little elf just came and cleaned the camera
while you were live. I love this show so much.
Oh, what service? So,
Paolo wants to say, should we call it Waiting for Tarot?
Oh, snap.
Oh, no. Mab is not going to give you worldsoldestorphan.com.
So the other thing I wanted to say before getting waylaid by all the witticisms is that when I made my deck, now it's all cool to be considerate of matters of inclusivity and representation. But I have to say, at the time when I was first working on my deck, that wasn't really a thing. Most tarot decks, there are more decks created this century than in all the previous centuries. There's probably more decks created in the last 20 years than in all the previous centuries of tarot. But there wasn't a real focus on, for example, having like people of color and people of diverse body types and, people who are gender bendy and so forth. And that was really important to me. So I was just trying to learn the cards and looking at all the decks that were out there, and simultaneously impressed by the history and the symbolism, and underwhelmed by the absolute lack of representation of anything that looked like the people that make my life rich and interesting. And hence I committed to the far bigger than I realized at the time, to the very big project that is making your own deck. So I'm happy to say that quality of having a lot of representation of a lot of kinds of folks and a lot of kinds of geography and a lot of kinds of cultures represented, the rest of the world has caught up to the idea that that's really important. And I'm grateful, because it's given the deck a whole new life now as folks are looking around and really asking for that. So there's that.
So my question for you, and I'm looking at the wrong camera, and let's go to camera 2. Hey everyone, yeah, hi. Now, so my my question for you, my friend, is how did you get involved in this in the first place? How did you become Madame Onca, not just being the hardest working woman in showbusiness.com, but how did you get interested in tarot and going and choosing it as, well, among other things, a viable career path?
Right? That's a great question.
And by the way, speaking of viable career paths, go follow her Patreon. Go become one of her Patreons. Patreon is a huge way to really support your artists right now, because we don't have a lot of venues right now, friends. And Patreon is one way that we do stay viably self-employed. So thank you. And for all of you who are mine, thank you. But also go become Madame Onca's. Her rates start at $3. So
very
you can't
affordable.
beat it. Very affordable. But let's get back into that question.
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. To scroll back, I have been interested in all the things mystical since I was a little kid, and started studying the cards probably when I was 20. And it was put to me that the best way to really learn the system, because again, we're talking about an enormous amount of historical information, as well as like some cool woo-woo pictures. Like there's a tremendous amount of data there if you're interested in getting deep. So it was put to me at that time that the best way for me to learn the system was to do a deep dive. And as an artist, I realized the best way for me to synthesize, to really understand the information in a deep way, was to study it and make a deck. I never intended it to be published. I was making it for myself as part of my own creative process. And then a number of years in, folks started asking me like how I was going to get it published. And I was like, I'm a kid who lives in a yurt. I don't even have electricity. What do I know about publishing things? I mean,
Wait, you lived in a yurt?
Oh, Shakespeare, you don't know me that well, do you?
Genuinely, I mostly know you. Prior, honestly, to this year, as Paolo's better half, honestly.
Yeah. And then the lady with the mousetraps backstage at Louisiana.
Exactly. Paolo's better half. I mean, like I said.
Yeah.
But
I used to live in a yurt and in Bloody Madison County in North Carolina, and washed my hair in a bucket. And this was before we had cell phones. So I had to have the power company come up to the house, and they built a phone jack when you had to plug it into the wall into my deck, which I kept under a Tupperware container. So when the phone rang, I would go outside the yurt and lift up the Tupperware container and pick up the phone. So that is
sitcom level worthy right there. I love it.
It's real analog. So sorry if I'm laughing really loud into that.
No. This is quality entertainment.
So I lived in a yurt, and again, I was like, what do I know from publishing? And then I taught myself, and I was lucky enough to make the connections, and my work was published by Llewellyn, which is like the Time Life books of the metaphysical world, I guess you might say. And my deck has been translated into Spanish, and my deck went to Belgium and New Zealand and so forth long before I ever, broke orbit from the yurt. And then I just continued to learn. Like it went out into the world, and it did its work. And I shifted after years and years of pushing a chisel, which we'll talk about in a minute, because these are block prints. I carved them. So after years of pushing a chisel, Yoda. I was like this for years and years and years, and I couldn't wait to stretch it out. So at that point, I pursued a career in belly dancing, and I actually traveled all over the States teaching belly dance and performed at Ren Fairs. Paulo and I used to work at the same stage at Tennessee for years. And then, what was that, 10 years ago now, or 20, 50, I don't know, ages ago. And then I got to travel internationally doing that. And at some point I came back to myself, and, I kept up tarot for myself, but I hadn't really thought about what my work was doing. And then I went on the internet and found out that it was like an instant classic. And there were all these people talking about it in all these forums when it came out about how it was really important. And I missed the whole thing because I was living the rural life at the time and missed all that. And I was sort of delighted to come back and find out that this thing that had taken so much time and meant so much to me and been part of my process. Well, again, the world kind of caught up, and I don't know if you noticed, but which stuff is super cool right now. Everybody in the world is in the closet.
I've noticed, yeah.
Yeah. So as the world charges out of the broom closet, I'm standing here holding my lifetime's worth of work, and I'm happy to share that with folks.
That
So
is wonderful.
there you go. And I wanted to show you how these things actually got made, because here we are.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's do that in the second half of the show here. Because I am going to have to pay some bills. But first, before we go to pay any bills at all, friends, I want you to go to Madame Onca's new website, courtesy of our friend Mab Just Mab, www.thelaziestwellpaidwomaninshowbusiness.com. It redirects to her old website, hardestworkingwomaninshowbusiness.com. So just go there, laziestwellpaidwomaninshowbusiness.com. We're making this trend today.
Oh,
This is my new mission. Screw everything else I'm doing. I mean, because
I'm amazed.
anything for the bit. Anything
yes.
for the bit.
I was going to say, what's the picture? So now I know it redirects to my site of me looking very serious about.
Yes, it will redirect there and be amazing. But
that is hilarious.
So I'm gonna have to. I'm sorry.
I said. Oh, it sounds like it's time for you to pay your bills.
I do, yeah, and you can hear my cat scratching at the door. He's like, "Daddy, pay the bills." That's what I'm assuming he's saying. Other than "Daddy, open the door." Mab will do anything for the bit, up to and including buy a new website.
She'll do anything for the bits.
I respect that so much. All right, well, friends. Here on Shakespeare's Coffee Break, I have some sponsors, and they are absolutely wonderful. And today, I get to introduce a new sponsor to you here on Shakespeare's Coffee Break. Yes, I know you are just as excited as I am. Yes. I mean, first off, of course, we have hillstorageandriggingcompany.com, and I'm going to give them all the love and respect that they need and deserve. So first off, enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing your equipment is in skilled and experienced hands with services from our machine movers and erectors in Middletown, Pennsylvania. Established in 1967, Hill Storage and Rigging Company is a family-owned and operated full-service millwright serving industries in the Mid-Atlantic states and beyond. We are a woman-owned small business. Hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, with Saturdays and Sundays by appointment only. Hill Storage and Rigging Company is a family-operated, woman-owned small business, and you can find them at hillrigging.com and by calling 717-944-7676. Again, 717-944-7676. Hill Storage and Rigging Company. No job too large or too small. And here's my new sponsor I'm so very excited about. Dandyfork. Oh my goodness. You can go to etsy.com/shop/dandyfork. Because they're making wonderful, amazing things, such as masks. Yes, oh my goodness gracious, Dandyfork, they are awesome. Peruse their ever-expanding collection of accessories, including reversible venture hoods. Yeah, I'm getting one. Scarves, masks, and more to get you through the season in style. Spooky Halloween fall collection. We're going to make that a little bit bigger here. The spooky Halloween fall collection is also out right now. A fandom collection. Are you into the Doctor or Hobbits or Wizards, the Force or the Federation? They've got you covered. You see what they did there, right? The cotton masks are hand or machine washable. You can do either. Sewn in polypropylene filter, built-in stainless steel nose bridge, comfortable woven elastic in order to just stretch to your head. And the 3D shape of the new mask pattern provides more breathing space between your mouth and nose and the fabric, whilst offering a good seal across the nose and under the chin. Check them out. Etsy.com/shop/dandyfork. And while I'm here talking about them, so this is not the newest version. This is the original. So here is what it looks like here. So here we go. Pretty high up, you can see. And I'm doing this in two phases here. So you hear me sound muffled. And it's like, all right, you sound like a guy wearing a mask. Now here's the next part. You can also order a silicone nose guard. Now, this was described to me as something that you can wear if you are wearing lipstick and you don't wish to get your lipstick messed up by the mask, but it also works to keep the mask out of your nose. So I actually wear this for when I'm running. And oh, by the way, I want to show this to you as well. The nose guard right here. So it's flexible. Put it on. So let's get the whole thing on again. Adjust it. And here's the thing. You should be able to hear me a bit easier now. And that's amazing. And so this is fantastic for people like myself who will be performing in masks. Paolo sometimes has to do things in a mask while he's working at the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair. So this is really ideal. It's fantastic and phenomenal. These are some of my favorite colors because terrible opinions aside, I would still consider myself a lion, a Gryffindor. So there's that. But go check out Dandy Folk at etsy.com/shop/Dandy Folk. The owner and creator of Dandy Folk, Sarah Bertolozzi, she is a Broadway customer. She knows what she's making. She knows what she's doing. So check out Dandy Folk. And now that I've paid my bills, I need to get back into my amazing conversation with the inimitable Madame Onca, and you can go to her new website at the laziest well-paid woman in show business.com. Here she is, the laziest well-paid woman in show business, Madame Onca.
Oh, Matt, that is so funny. Well done, Shakespeare. You're very good at that whole
$7 well spent.
Given a choice between that and like a latte, I'm going to say that was the better $7.
I don't know. How good is this latte?
Well, it's either a very cheap cocktail or a very expensive cup of coffee. So
yeah, really, seriously. It better be like one of those lattes that actually has gold inside of it.
Like a latte Schlager kind of thing.
Yes.
Gold Schlager, is that what it's called?
Yes,
not the
absolutely.
Schlager, like we're saying. Not the pugilistic kind.
No.
Yes,
no,
I
no.
like this idea of a mask that stays out of your lipstick because I don't know that that's a problem for you most of the time, but I can say that it's a problem for me most of the time.
Not for me, but I do wear I wear chapstick all the time too, so like I don't want to get it greasy in there.
Right.
And so yeah, I find it fantastic, and it also like this is not an ad portion here. This is just my own personal experiences with things. And I want to be advertising them if I didn't actually like them and believe in them. This how it fits over your face here. It keeps everything away just enough so that the fabric isn't in your nose. So when you're huffing and puffing when you're running, it's a bit easier to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's nice. And so this was not designed with running in mind.
Right.
It's just a nice fringe side effect. And then also as a person who's very active on stage, and when I return to Renaissance Fairs next year, I'll be wearing a mask. And I move around a lot. Everyone who's seen my show live knows that. This is going to be really, really nice added piece to my mask arsenal. And she does custom orders as well, friends. So go check her out. But yeah, it
also gives you a nice Planet of the Apes profile.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It totally does. Totally does. And I will just simply say, Caesar is free. Because I like the new Apes movies. You haven't seen the new Apes movies? All right, that's what we're talking about for the next half hour. All right.
Can I finish talking about my stuff before we start talking about Apes movies?
No, we're talking about the Apes movies, Onca. Oh my God, no, yeah, totally. Yeah, the new Apes movies, they're really good. Andy Serkis is fantastic as Caesar. It's really good. It's really good.
I believe you.
All right, so you can just Anyway, let's talk about your stuff.
I was having fun making that awkward. Actually, that was kind of fun. So here's the thing. So I teach classes about tarot stuff. Oh, and the whole reason that I was wanting to come on and say hi to you today, other than the fact that I like you and we seem to be in the same very small internet circles at the moment. I am hosting the Digital Rent Fair on Halloween, where I dressed up in my goofiest, witchiest clothes for that. So I do have, there's lots of ways I like to interact with people. Teaching is truly one. I have a great passion for sharing information and making it accessible. So the classes that I am offering are pay what you can. I realize some of us are still working at home with our steady jobs, and our lives continue unhindered, but with joyless because we're stuck at home. Whereas some of us, are 100% income interrupted. So there's a real strange dichotomy of how the pandemic is affecting people. So if you want to take class because you can afford to, great. If you need to take class because you just need something positive to think about, you can take it. It is pay what you can, all levels, all that good stuff. It's on Monday nights. There's a fundamentals class at 7. There's a special topic class at 8. It's all through the Zoom right now. And then I'll send you links of class afterwards so you can watch the edited video again at your own time. So whatever. Anyway, I love to share information. And I feel like this is a great moment in time for people to use tarot as a tool for self-reflection and to feel like you're part of the great human experience and not just stuck in your own corner of it.
My wife is certainly a oh, goodness gracious, let me come up here. Sorry. I forgot what camera was on. I feel
like I need to when you do that, I feel like I have to come down.
You should. You know what? Let's do that. All right. Hey, how's it going? You know what? If I ever play a halfling on that 21, I need to just do it this way. I'm like,
oh, hey absolutely.
Guys. Hi. It's like, where'd he go? I'm over here.
I can't even reach my arm up at this angle. I'm actually sitting in one of those ergonomic knee chairs. So if you can see what I'm doing with my body right now, it's like an uncharted yoga asana in order to even do this.
So what actually what I do most of the time when I'm working in here is because sitting all day is one of the worst things you can do for yourself is I'm standing most of the time. So it's not an actual standing desk, it's a bunch of crates, but so it's not quite at a good level. But sure. I have my standing desk on order actually. So nice. And by standing desk I mean it's a bar. It's like a kitchen. It's kind of like a kitchen island or a workbench,
right?
Or a bar.
Sure.
You can like modify it into whatever you like, but it's about yay high, and it'll work very nicely. And so, like the camera tripod will go on it, and
right.
I'll have
you've got your actual like mini bar stuff on one end, your internet stuff in the middle, and then your like barista stuff on the other end. So when
if by mini bar we mean only the barista stuff, yeah, because I am such a lightweight, as has been previously discussed on these shows. It's just like I sniff it and I'm like, hey, how's it going?
All this hand sanitizer must be doing wonders for you then, because it's like
it might be building my tolerance a little bit. Just like, it's like, you're not supposed to drink the rubbing alcohol, right? Really? Just thought I'd cleanse my insides of the coronavirus. Thought I'd take some medical advice.
I'm sorry.
No, I was making a nasty joke. Don't need to go there right now.
It's all good. Nasty. Well, some of that sanitizer is made out of cheap drinking alcohol, like high proof alcohol mixed with hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah.
So there's a true, that'll make a hobo go blind. Don't drink that.
Bathtub gin. Here we go.
Turlet wine.
So, you want to show us how this process is done?
Yeah, just I just wanted to explain it for a second because Let's do. So, for example, let's look at here's a tarot card. Boop. I have to figure out where to get the not glare. So you can see here we've got this complex image. It's got black line work and then a lot of open areas that have been hand colored. So what that is, and other than being like 40 hours of probable carving, is I got a block like this, a linoleum block.
Oh my God.
This is the new back of the 3rd edition that'll be coming out this year. So I draw it in pencil, as you can see, and then with little teeny tiny chisels, you can see this, for example, on this side, it's going to be very complex trying to get this sword, this pentacle, and all this greenery. So I carve all that out. Then rolling ink upon it. If you've ever done potato prints as a kid, or maybe fish prints or whatever, you'll be familiar with this process. You roll the ink on it with a fancy machine and or a spoon, depending how DIY you are. You've got your paper on there, or your printing press, and then you end up with the reverse image of it in black and white. This being one of the originals from the old deck. And then these have to cure. They're actually made with bone black ink. So it's not vegan. I apologize. In the old days, none of this stuff was. The old style stuff is made out of old charred bones. It sets for a couple weeks, and then I hand color each one of these. So it's about 80 prints total. And all of the blocks, the original blocks were 8x10. So again, each one of these blocks, it's 10 to 40 hours of carving per piece.
So in that case, and I ask this as a creative person
Yeah.
who tries to, like find the sweet spot between what are you or your product actually worth and
Yes.
what will people pay at all
Yes.
times. How are you able to rationalize paying like charging anything less than $1,000 a deck?
How do we do it? Volume. It helped. There's I don't know, maybe 13,000 copies of this deck out in the world at this point, not counting the Spanish version. So that helps. Yeah. So what happened was, it went out of print. So it was in print for, I don't know, 15 years or something. And the original edition, then it went out of print, meaning that, they had printed X number of copies, in Spanish and in English, and, they were all sold, and people started. So what I discovered is that, folks would come to me and say, "Hey, I want to buy a copy of your deck," and I'd be like, "Oh, right, I should get some of those." People were selling them on the internet for hundreds of dollars a deck, like $200 a piece. I was like, I would have to pay $200 to buy it from that person because I only had kept so many. I mean, I lived in a yurt. I was a nomadic person. I didn't have I wasn't carrying around like a pallet, a brick of pieces of paper all these years. So $200 a piece. I thought if anyone should be seeing any kind of return on this, it might be myself. So what do I need to do in order to do that? And it turns out the choice was to self-publish. Llewellyn very kindly had given me back the rights to it, after an X number of years had passed, or rather, they gave me the right to publish. I retained the original right to all the art and the writing and so forth. But the important part is I could do that. I just needed to learn how to do that, which is where this time period that we are in as creators right now, learning how to use the internet in new ways, learning how to connect with patrons in new ways, with, Ko-Fi and all these different things.
Coffee. Stop pronouncing it like your husband. He's wrong.
Ko-Fi.
Coffee. It's Shakespeare's coffee brick. You're buying a cup of coffee.
Shakespeare doth not approve. Yes. So
Shakespeare gets agitated on that.
You don't know what's in this cup.
If it's anything like mine, it's water.
There is definitely some water in it. Anyway, so in this time period, we're all having to learn all this new stuff, or at least it's new for me. That's how I felt when it was time for me to learn how to publish a book and a deck. It was a whole learning curve. It's one thing to make one from a artistic and mystical perspective, with an eye to the historical, but it's a whole different thing to learn how to do paper books and binding and shipping and tracking all that kind of data. So I did Indiegogo Kickstarter type thing, and pre-sold $10,000 worth of decks.
That's amazing.
It was a really big deal. And then I was able to, and then I had to sit down and Shakespeare, because I am such an analog girl, it didn't occur to me that it would make sense to make shipping labels. And I hand labeled them all. And I was so high on Sharpie fumes, you could not even, it was like huffing turpentine. I was out of my gourd.
I've been there. So we, not $10,000 worth of cards pre-sold, but just the scripts I send out as perks for people supporting the various shows. Like Paolo did Julius Caesar, Beware the Irons and March of the Penguins. Mm-hmm. So people pledge money.
Thank you for that beard, by the way.
Oh yeah, it looks good. People pledging at certain levels, they get certain perks, and the one perk is a performance copy of the script. I sign it, and so I just buy ink every month and print things out. And do I print labels? No.
You know what? We also didn't print labels for all of the Nat 21 stuff. And as the person most likely to be labeling all the things, you think I would have learned. But I was like, oh, it'll be fine. There'll be like 30 of these. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dice and things that need to go out. And again, I was like, why does this seem so familiar? I'm going to end up in Sharpie rehab, and I'm not even there for it, So
you'll be like, hey, can I get a pen? Someone hands you a Sharpie, you scream. throw it at them.
We're gonna do an urgent PSA for all the Patreons that are like, please help us afford to buy shipping labels so that I can preserve some of my neurons for the future.
Hi, friends. Do you enjoy Lady Onca, Paolo Garbanzo, and Shakespeare having usable neurons in their heads? Do you want us to not go into paroxysms of fear every time we see a Sharpie? Please send us your nickels and dimes, friends. Your nickels and dimes, so we can get shipping labels, but also not just to afford them. We can afford them now. Send us a reminder, like just text us. Just be like, "Hey, did you get the shipping labels?" That would actually be even more helpful.
I've already forgotten about it because I was over here.
I'm leaving. Show's yours.
Well, the other night on that 21, when you were like, "This, I leave you guys alone for a week, and this is my life."
Other than the very top and very bottom of the show, I came in for 30 seconds, and then a bunch of patrons were just like, "That was funny." I was like, "It's just like."
It was great.
Well, there was no, everything they were doing was brilliant. And this is one of my favorite bits of improv. Don't jump in unless the scene needs you. I mean, that's that's a thing that, especially with the nasty thing with lag of talking over each other on this format, that happens. This has also helped me really work on my improv skills, and just like really bring them back up to snuff. And it's like their whole confessional period was leading up to something, but just like it's not. It's like it's building. It's all hilarious, but it's just like it needs the button. There was no button, so I'm like, what can I do? All right, there's the button. All right, just look disgusted and then leave.
It was so good. I was 100% entertained.
Thank you.
Yes.
I also had the benefit of just sitting there for the hour beforehand, just going, all right, what are they doing?
Right. Yeah, you had 2 hours to prep that one-liner, so well done there. I'd be funny if I had 2 hours to prepare too.
If I have 5 minutes, I mean, if I have 2 minutes, I'm usually pretty good. Just like, all right, cool. I like hosting improv shows, so I look really funny, but I also have 2 to 5 to 10 minutes while everybody's doing things because I'm usually not involved in bits.
Right.
On the side going, all right, there's the joke. All right.
That is emceeing. I mean, I have emceed many, burlesque and belly dance festivals all over the country. And, you're supposed to be the gilded frame, right? You're not supposed to distract. You're not exactly trying to say, whatever you saw was amazing, but don't think about that. Pay attention to me. I mean, your job is to go, wasn't that amazing? The next thing is amazing, but you still want to, I always say if you wanted somebody to come out and read our next performer got their black belt and get your boyfriend to do that. You don't need a trained MC to do that. You need a trained MC to go, oh, and while the lights are being recircuited because of the technical difficulties we're having, I had 4 minutes during the last act to think of something really funny just in case.
Yeah.
That's what the MC is for,
Yeah, and then you start just building up your quiver full of one-liner arrows, and just like, all right, cool, this works. This works once and only once ever. This one, oh, this is good. This is good once a show. All right.
Shakespeare Approves is funny every time you shout it at a passerby.
Yeah, and then it gets old, but then like some of the Family Guy bits, it gets funny again. Just like, oh, he's still going. 15 years later, he's still going.
Still funny.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So I have to ask you,
yes,
why carve these things? I mean, I understand make them much bigger and then they get shrunk down so like it maintains the fidelity of the illustration. Right. But why carve them?
That is my primary form of visual art, I would say. I grew up in a community in New England that had a really powerful and historic block printing tradition. And you can go look it up. The Folly Cove designers were an amazing working women's art movement that was renowned for their design and actually made textiles that ended up in the White House back in the back and so forth. Coming out of a really working class environment that had this weird infusion of extreme European art training. I don't know. there was a lot going on there. So I grew up with that, like our, the curtains in the house were all block printed and that kind of thing. I grew up playing on giant printing presses, like the size of a car. We had one in the barn. As a kid, you could slam those levers all day long, and those things are still in the barn, and they're indestructible. So, every kid sat on one and pretended it was a spaceship. So, I just grew up with those, sort of old indestructible materials. So it is one of my native artistic languages. As I was talking about the other day in the Painting with Paulo, Mab has encouraged me to take some of that same analog art quality and learn to do with the tablet, with something that is, instead of having to take all this art and translate it into a digital medium, maybe cut out a step. So far, it's been heavy lifting for me. So I'm like, why? Where did it go? What is the what? Control P print. Control P print. Why is this not working?
That almost it does feel like something like if you have the latest version of like the iPad or the iPad Pro or like whatever the Galaxy thing is with the pen, like the really good pens. It feels like something that you could potentially do on there, because I've seen a lot of illustrators using that as, if not the preferred medium, as a professionally good enough. Not even just like, it's good enough for sketching, but like, no, this is good. I am comfortable enough doing this that whatever art I produce with it, I will not say it is crap. I will say this is my good non 40 hours of work on a single carving.
I will say also so I am in that process, and even now under when Mab is helping me with these things, now I go back and look at the work that I did just 2 months ago on it, and I go, oh yeah, that was pretty good for I just started doing this, but now I need to fix it in order to bring it up to being reflective of my actual line quality and artistic voice and so forth. So I'm still definitely in the learning curve, but Mab is collaborating with me to do stuff for my Patreon, many of whom are either, they either appreciate, my work, and my work, our family, we've had a lot going on in the last couple of years, or they're tarot fans. And so what I've been doing for them is making a series of magnetic tarot paper dolls. It sounds like it'd be such a quick little project. No, it turns out it's not. It's an enormous project, but a big part of that, the conception. Boom, I've got that figured out. I did those drawings, and I have to say, I think they look great. I would stand by them with, on par with any other work that I've done, but trying to get them through in a medium where Mab and I can work on them together and collaborate has been more of a process. And fortunately, my patrons are willing to be there for that process. I mean, that's part of what they're doing. They're not just saying dance, monkey, dance. They're saying, show us what art looks like as it unfolds. Show us what it looks like when, working artists are in the middle of trying to learn a new thing. So it's wonderful that I'm blessed with patrons who are down for that and not just needing me to churn out finished product for them constantly, because a lot of us are in a process of relearning and reevaluation right now.
Absolutely, very much so. Like, I'm learning broadcasting, among other things. It's just like,
right, yeah, let's have a broadcasting studio in our house. We'll just move all of our other stuff to one side.
Yeah, exactly. So I need to blow you up to yourself right now, because you have a reasonably well-developed sense of self-worth and pride and ego. But if you're anything like me, you also have the darker side of that of like, no, I'm no good. Oh, don't compliment me. I don't, stop it. So I will not compliment you. I will just read out someone else's compliment from Mab. She said the first time that Onca handled her art tablet, she sketched out an incredible drawing that was already better than anything I had done. And she says, you have an advantage in using all of that stuff in the fact that all of your art and drawings are fantastic. So there you go. You are a brilliant artist. And
bless you.
Accept it, damn it.
Secretlycrap.com. That's the self-loathing part of the Slytherin. I suppose you're right about that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks there. Thanks there, friend.
Or just go to the laziest well-paid woman in showbusiness.com. Make sure that you go there because it is it's going to be the best usage of your day. Honestly, just Go right there. Laziest well-paid woman in show business.
I can't wait to. I feel like I shouldn't be online while I'm already online, but I can't wait to find out.
Madam Onca, it has been a delight to have you here. You are welcome back anytime, please.
Well, thank you, Shakespeare.
And when you're not busy running about to other festivals that take up a lot of your Friday drive time, right. I do hope that you'll join me for Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour, which is just a lot more silliness than we had even here.
Can there be more?
Yes, with dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs are one of my favorite things.
All right, in that case, let's go to one of my favorite banners on here. Where is it? What's your favorite dinosaur?
My favorite dinosaur? I have to admit, classics. I've always been a ceratopsid fan. Triceratops. They're like the great big belligerent cows of the Jurassic. Like, what's not to love? When they say get out of the way, you get out of the way.
You get out of the way. That's right.
But my favorite one to say is Parasaurolophus.
Parasaurolophus.
Yeah.
That is a fun one to say. And apparently there is a Harry Potter a parody that is romantic, vaguely erotic, but where the one hero is a Parasaurolophus with a really sexy 5 o'clock shadow.
I'm so intrigued. And
I will find the post and send it to you. I saw it yesterday, and I'm like, oh, what in God's green earth is this? And it's just amazing. So
our household has a penchant for awkward, interactive Harry Potter erotica too. Just so you know. Ask Paulo about that sometime.
That's the Friday show. Let's talk about that on the Friday show.
Absolutely.
This is still a kid-friendly one.
Indeed. Well, thank you, Shakes, for having me. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it. And thanks for all the nice people saying the nice things. Please consider coming to class, even if you don't have any money. Just come for fun. It's literally the least and most I can do for the world right now is try to give people something meaningful and enjoyable to do in this time of increasing uncertainty.
Do it, and those links are in the comments. Go and follow Madam Onca. Go to her classes and just go. Do it for yourself, and then also buy some artwork, amazing artwork that could potentially help you with your own finding who you are and where you're supposed to be right now. Madam Onca, go find her on patreon.com and the laziest well-paid woman in show business.com. So, yeah, right.
Useful got done today.
Yeah, see, there we go. Go do it. All right. But Madam Onca, I'm going to talk to you for a second after the show here, but I'm going to go close things up.
All right, bye, everybody.
All right. So, friends, this has been Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour no, it hasn't. This has been Shakespeare's... That's Friday's show. It's tomorrow. This has been Shakespeare's Coffee Break, and let's have one final slurp here. That's just good internet audio, people. All right. Now, make sure you go and check out our newest sponsor, Dandy Folk. You can find them at etsy.com/shop/dandyfolk for your mask needs. The new masks have more of a beak, so not going to really get in the way of your nose, easier for breathing, and also not going to smudge your lipstick. But also, this fun silicone mask, under mask that you can do. Won't smudge lipstick. Also allows you to project your voice out a bit more if you want to be heard at the drive-through window. Now, that being said, there is stuff to talk about in the world of Shakespeare. Nat 21 Adventures is the show I do with Paolo Garbanzo every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Nat 21 Adventures on Facebook and twitch.tv/Paolo Garbanzo. It's a show performed with Renaissance Festival entertainers. Because when a natural 20 just won't do, you need a Nat 21. On Tuesday of Halloween week, Tuesday the 27th, we are doing the Nat 21 Halloween special, Night at the Mausoleum. You can still buy your adventuring box kit at nat21adventures.com. It'll be the most interactive show we have done in 3 seasons. So go check it out. Join us every Tuesday night. And then also Sunday nights at 8 p.m., we have Romulus's Haiku Wrap-Up. because it's so crazy it needs its own extra show. This image goes with a title card that got deleted when my computer decided to be a jerk. But Titus Andronicus, for kids, it's going to be the following night, Wednesday, October 28th. It's the next show I'm doing with the Social Distancing Players. Social Distancing Players is the online theater company I started at the beginning of the Corona apocalypse, back when the Murder Hornets were still just an imaginary thing. Wherein unemployed actors in the Renaissance Festival and theater worlds come together with me, performing versions of my Renaissance Festival plays that I write specifically for this medium. So check them out. The Indiegogo page should go up supposed to go up yesterday, should go up tonight, will probably be up tomorrow, where you can support the actors. For $10, you can get a backstage pass and join us for the after show party. For $30, you can go home with a script of the show. I will send that to you. I will sign it. And also, for $50, you can get a part in the show. There are many parts in the show. Spoiler alert, everyone dies. Like everyone. It's Titus Andronicus. For kids. So, Titus Andronicus, for kids. This is a family-friendly show. It'll be Wednesday, October 28th at 7:05 p.m. here on Facebook.com/Shakespeare Approves and YouTube.com/Shakespeare Approves. Talking Trek every other Thursday. We have a show tonight, 7 p.m. You can go to our YouTube page, find the YouTube page by going to our Facebook page, Facebook.com/Talking Trek Podcast, and then the show will go up on Facebook later. We are summing up Lower Decks, and it's a good time. Friday. Tomorrow morning, over on Life's Affair, Facebook.com/Life's Affair, you can watch the latest episode of Shakespeare Reviews. We're talking Much Ado About Nothing, the 1993 Kenneth Branagh, Emma Thompson, Keanu Reeves classic. Go watch that, and then join us for the show tomorrow. And then at 3:05 right here, so in place of Shakespeare's Coffee Break, Andrew McKee, my co-host, and I, we are going to be having a watch party right here at Facebook.com/Shakespeare Approves. Join us for that. And then, of course, Shakespeare's Shameless Self-Promotion Happy Hour, Fridays, 5:30 p.m. right here. Tomorrow night's musical guest is the Foxy Bard. So I hope you will join me for that. But friends, that is about all the announcements I have to make. Lady Onca, Madam Onca, did you have a good time?
Look at you, you caught yourself.
I did.
I did have a good time.
Yeah, if you're using someone's wrong name or wrong pronouns, just apologize, move on, and correct yourself. It's not hard.
It's really not that big a deal, y'all. I dropped this mic, but it's attached to this table, so I'm just going to have to swat it out of the way.
Yeah. So I hope you had a good time here with us today, friends. Fan drop right there. This has been Shakespeare's Coffee Break. I'm your friendly neighborhood Shakespeare. She's Madam Onca. And be kind to each other. Dare to hope right now. Just go out there, hope, do your best, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.